In this WordPress tutorial, I'm going to show you how to build a website with WordPress and how to make a single page WordPress website while using a free WordPress theme. So I just wanted to show you a bit about how this site is going to turn out. And basically I'm going to go over how to make a logo here, a Fav Icon up here, a features page, about, showreel, services, clients, news, and contact page. This website is responsive, so if I make it smaller, it could fit on devices like a phone and it will just adjust to the screen size. If it needs to fit on a tablet, it can fit as well on that. And then if you want it to fit on a computer, you can have it fit on this. And the text will resize and the images will resize to best fit the responsive view that it is being viewed on, such as a tablet or a phone. So there are actually some unique features about this site here. And if we use this and we scroll down here, you can see it starts to fade out the text, which is a pretty cool feature. Now if we wanted to, we can actually go and we can click this arrow here and it will lower us down right to the next section below. And that applies to every section on this site. So if you wanted to go all the way down to the contact form, you can do that and it will scroll you right down there automatically. Now we go over each section within this website. Early on in the tutorial, we go over where to get a beautiful background image like this for a full width image at the top. And we can start by going right down here to this, and we can easily customize the text and the icons within this section. And I go over how to do that. Next, we can go to this about text, and we can change this to be whatever text we want. We can make it one column or two here. And next, down here, we can create a video and change the background, which we go over in the video tutorial here of how to change this background image. And then if you click on this, it actually opens up a video in the lightbox here, so you can make it go to a specific video that you want relevant to your website that you're creating. Next, down here we have the services section, and I go over how to change these different service descriptions here, whether you want it to be text or if you want it or text with an image here. So this is totally up to you. And now next, down here in the services, it shows where we've been featured. You can change this as well if you would like, or add different elements. Down here it will give you different animations for your feedback, your projects completed, whatever text you want there. So if I refresh, you can see it count up on this number counter effect here, and you can change the numbers, the icons, the text, whatever you want it to be, so that it better applies to your own niche that you're focusing on. Here I just go over how to do some basic things within a blog post and how to create a blog here. And next, down here is a contact form. I go over how to change the social media pages, or your phone number in this case if you want, and the text as well here. And in this contact form page here, I go over how to set the email to be directed to your own email. Down here in the footer area, I go over how to basically hide or remove these icons from the bottom that gives the credentials. And I also change the layout structure here to be 3 columns instead of 4, which it was originally, and also how to edit this link color as well. So there's a lot to learn here, and I try to condense it into a pretty short amount of time so you can really get the most out of your time here and not spend hours and hours trying to create a website, or even weeks trying to create a website. I try to do it as concisely as possible, and I do my best to do it all without actually getting into writing any code at all here. So it is a code-free tutorial, basically focused on beginners learning to make their first website or really getting familiar with WordPress. So if you're ready to start this journey with me in making this website, the next step is going to be signing up for hosting, and I recommend TMD Hosting for that, and there's many reasons why. This does come with a cost, and this is the only cost associated with making this website, and I'll give you a coupon code where you can actually get a discount off what would normally be the price for the hosting, so it can help you out to get started for even less and have a live website up within a few hours. So if you're ready to start, let's jump into the next part here. Hey everyone, so to get started here, we're going to be signing up for WordPress hosting, and I'm using TMD Hosting. There will be a link in below to help support my channel if you do decide to use them as your hosting provider. I will say that I truly recommend them. I think they are the best host out there. I think they have the best live support, which you can see over here. and I think they have the best bang for your buck as far as the hosting goes. So I highly recommend them. I would definitely say to check out some of my other videos where I talk about TMD hosting and do little reviews, or how to set up WordPress and things like that with TMD hosting. I highly recommend them. I'm going to be using them for all of my sites going forward for hopefully many, many years with them. And it's really because of their support, their prices, and the speed that they offer for their websites. I would definitely recommend that you test them out compared to other websites. Maybe use live chat support on, say, HostGator, and then use live chat support here, or phone support, or anything like that, and see which one works better for you. I almost guarantee you it will be TMD hosting, and that is a big reason why I'm recommending them to people watching this video. So now that we have that out of the way, I just want to get into the WordPress hosting here, and I'll click that. And on this page, we're going to be able to look at some of the things that come with TMD hosting. I'm just going to cover a few of them, but if you want to look in more depth for yourself, take your time to go through this. Just pause the video and do that. And there's 99.99% uptime guarantee, 60-day money-back guarantee, which is great to have, and you can actually get started for as little as $2.95 a month, as I said. Now this is something great. It's SSD powered, and that basically means that your website's going to be faster. As we scroll down here, we're going to see there's 3 different plans here: a starter plan, a business plan, and a professional plan. So this starter plan, the biggest thing to note here is that you only can host one website with it. So you only can have one website with this plan. Now if you were to have just a business and you've been running a business for years and you know that's your only company you're going to have, then this is definitely the plan for you. As far as the business plan here, the biggest perks that you get from that are you have the standard SSL that can come with it, and that would be good for a store or something like that. And the other big one is that you can host unlimited websites here. So if you're someone who's like aspiring to be a web designer or have your own business, this may be the option for you. I will definitely say that I don't think the professional plan is necessary for someone just starting out. I think that's maybe something that you upgrade to in the future, and you can upgrade from one plan to another in the future, but I don't believe you can use a discount coupon when you're doing that. So it does factor into what your decision will be. I don't think you can just start with a starter plan and then use a discounted coupon to move up to this plan. So it's something you want to definitely think about before you choose your plan. I personally have a business plan here, and I have a few websites hosted on here. I'm actually in the process of moving everything I have over there, and I'll be doing that within the next few months after this video is made. So once you decide which plan you want to go with, you can click on where it says sign up. And a great thing about TMD hosting is you automatically get a free domain name included with your purchase. That's not very common within the hosting industry, and it's definitely another reason that they stand out compared to other hosting companies out there. So to sign up, you're going to choose a domain name. Now, you would most likely want to choose a domain name with a .com if you're in the US, because it's the most common, possibly a .net or a .org if you're a charity or something like that. So what you want to do is just pick your domain name, and I'm just going to write a random one here. And now, after you do that, you'll click where it says proceed here. And now you'll be directed to where it says your contact information. It says the domain name's available. If it's not available, it will tell you, and you can try to register another one. Now, since you're a new customer, you're going to have to fill this out, and it's one time only that you're going to have to fill this information out. After you've done that, you can go down here to the payment information, and you can put in your credit card number, or you can pay with PayPal. Either one is fine. But the important thing that I wanted to show you down here is you can actually choose where your data center is going to be. So if you're located in the US, you're going to want Chicago. If you're located in, let's say, Singapore, you'll want this. Sydney, Australia, London, Tokyo, Japan. Wherever you're located, you want to choose the closest one to you if that's the target audience you're going to have. So I would recommend, if you're in the US, you choose Chicago. So after you've done that, you can go through these options down here, and I'll get into the plans here in a second. I'm actually going to disable this and disable all of these options right in this section because I don't think they're really necessary in this case. So here for the period of the plan, you can get a much cheaper rate if you go with 12 months or even 24 months to get much lower. I personally have a 24-month plan, and I got this plan because I was already committed to using them. I knew I was going to be using them. Just going through a lot of different hosts over the years, I knew I was going to be committed to TMD, so I went with the 24-month plan for the $585 rate. Now if we scroll down, you see the total rate here. You do have to pay it up front. If you wanted to do month by month, you could choose that first option up here for the 1 month plan, and it will show you what the cost will be down here. So if I have it for 24 months, it'll be $140. Now if I wanted to use a promo code, and I have the best promo code there is right now that you can get the most off with, and that's WP with Tom. And if you apply it, it'll just knock off $7 right there off of your price for this amount for this 24 months hosting. And just so you know, this monthly rate of $585 or whatever it was before, going down to this $556 per month, it might not seem like much of a savings, but it is better than the regular rates you're going to see on competitive sites. Like HostGator, for example, might be $8, $9, $10 per month. And HostGator is probably the most popular host out there as far as competitors would go for something like this. So $556 a month or even $685 a month is a steal in my opinion. Now if you did go with 1 month, you can upgrade to one of these plans as well. And I'm not sure if you can get the discount, as I said before, with the coupons in that case. So after you're happy with that, you'll go down here. If you want to read the terms of service, you can do that. Remember earlier I said there's a 60-day guarantee, money-back guarantee. And here, you'll click this, and then you'll click Checkout to finish the process. After you check out, you'll receive an email in whatever email that you signed up with in the contact information above up here. And that email will then be your way to get into the back end of your account, into your control panel. And then we'll be able to set up WordPress from there. So we'll get into doing that next. So after you've signed up for TMD Hosting, you're going to get an email from them for a welcome email to TMD Hosting. And in that, you're going to want to use your email and password that you've set up and go and click to go to the client area here. Once you open that page, you'll have your email and your password that you'll want to put in here. And I'll do that now. And you'll log in. And you may have some prompts here that they give you right when you log in, but we don't have to worry about that for now. I'll just quickly give you a rundown through the cPanel here, the client area here, and then we'll get into actually how to install WordPress. So if you wanted to go and contact TMD Hosting, you would need to go to support here, and you can submit a ticket and look at previous tickets. Here's where you need to go to your billing information. You would go to invoices, change your credit card details, add funds, things like that. This would be if you wanted to add another hosting type service. Here's where you'd want to register another domain name. You can actually check it right here as well. And then you can also transfer domain names here from other hosts. And this is the services tab and home tab to get back to here. So that's just a quick rundown of how to get there. I have actually used the support section before and submitted tickets, and it literally has only taken them a few minutes to respond. And it's just awesome. That's like unparalleled in the hosting industry between other hosts that I've used before. Now if we scroll down, we're going to get to where it says cPanel Login right here. cPanel Login, you're going to want to select the account. So I only have one account here. I'm going to click Login. And now that I'm in here, I can actually install WordPress on a domain name that I have in place already. So to install WordPress on our domain name, what we're going to want to do is scroll down here, and we'll see this area that says WordPress here in the Softaculous Apps Installer area. So we're just going to click on WordPress, and now to install it, you can simply just click Install Now, and now you're going to want to choose where it's going to go. Before we get started, I want it to go to this indirectory area, and I'm going to delete this WP right here. I don't want anything in this box, and it's very important to do because it can be a pain when you're getting started. So to get started here, I'm going to leave this as is, And then I'm going to choose the domain name that I want. You probably only have one domain name. In my case, I'm actually going to use what's called a subdomain name, but this is kind of irrelevant for you, but it's basically the name of the site, dot, and then the primary domain name. So my primary domain name is tomswptutorials.com, and this would be a subdomain name. I'm actually going to put up a video on how to create a subdomain name in TMD Hosting here shortly, and it will probably be up by the time you're watching this video. But for now, I'm going to be using a subdomain name in here, and you can do that with any of the TMD hosting plans. So after you have these in place and this empty, again, this third one empty, this in directory, we're going to scroll down here. And if you want to, you can change the name of the site name, the site description. I'm actually just going to leave it as is, and I'm not going to enable multi-site either. And now you can scroll down to this admin account area. Now in this area, I would recommend that you probably choose a name that's unique and change it from admin, because admin is the most common name used for usernames on WordPress, and it's the most likely to be vulnerable for security risks. So you'll want to change that to something else that you're going to remember, and then you'll also want to put in a password. So if I put in a password, let's say I just go with this for now, and next, you'll want to remember this password, by the way, but I will get into how to change it here in a moment after we get the site actually set up. Next, this will be your email linked to the site. So I'm just going to put in an email. This is important to put in an email that you actually have access to in case you can't log in and you need to retrieve the password. So you want to have this as well. And next, we'll scroll down. You want to select your language here. And I'm just going to leave mine as English. And then I'm not going to select this plugin. We'll get into plugins in a bit, but I'm not going to use this plugin for now. And down here you can choose themes. I'm actually going to install a theme called Screener, which is why I named that the subdomain name. So I'm not going to install any of these themes as well. If you want them to email you the installation details, basically saying your login, your password, and everything like that, it would be good to have it emailed to yourself. If not, it's okay, and we can just click install. Now if we scroll up here, it says our install is basically underway, and now it's successfully finished. It was a very quick process. And now to log in, this is the URL that you're going to log into. It's going to be your domain name, .com, .net, .org, whatever you select it, and then the important part is /WP-admin. So if I click on that, we're going to be redirected, and now we're actually right into the site. It logs us in for the first time. The first thing I'm going to do when we log in is I'm actually going to change the password, and there's a couple different areas you can do this. I'm just going to go up here to the upper right, and I'm going to click Edit My Profile. And this is where we can edit our profile details, such as our username, our first name, last name, nickname, which could be for blog posts and things like that. You can also change your contact email if you decide to change your email, and you can add a gravatar picture here. But right here is the all-important one, the generate password for a new password. And let's say I wanted to hide the password, and I'll create a password that I'm actually going to remember instead of the random one that was generated for us before. And now, when I'm happy with that, I'll click Update Profile. Now it says Profile Updated here at the top of the page. So now we have a password for sure that we can remember. And just to remember our login page, I'm just going to log out here and show you how it works. Now this is what you'll be prompted to see when you come here. If you go to your website, /WP-admin, now it will take us to this page. Every time you type that in, it will take it to your page. Type in /WP-admin, and then you're going to enter your username and then your password. And then you'll just log in. If you lost your password, you can retrieve it right here. And you can click to remember you. I actually don't like doing that, but it's up to you, and we'll log right back in. And now you can see that your password's set and we're ready to go. This area right here is called your dashboard. And in this dashboard area is where we basically make the magic happen in here. And this is where we'll make our website come to life. Don't worry if you don't know what these parts are here on the left. We'll get into that next. So before we dive into these settings here on the left that we can change, I'm actually just going to go and X out of these up here at the top. And the only one we need left is our dashboard, which we're in right now. And I just want to show you what the front of the site looks like. So I'm just going to hover over where it says My Blog. I'm going to open this link in a new tab here. And this is what it looks like. This is just a default one here. And that's basically pretty plain and simple right there. Next, if we go back and we actually look at appearance and then themes, we'll be able to see which theme is in effect. And this is the 2017 theme. And it also populates you with some older themes as well. What I'm going to do to get started here is actually click on where it says theme details in the middle of this 2015 and 2016 themes. And then I'll go to the lower right and I'll click delete here. And this is basically just to clean things up a little bit. So I'm going to go to theme details again in the middle of 2016 and I'll click delete. And I'll click OK. And that gives us just this theme left. You have to have at least one theme in effect here and live as the current theme, and that's what this 2017 one is here. So if we want to add a theme to this, I'm going to use a free theme within this tutorial. I know a lot of people use paid themes in tutorials, and I feel like you've already spent a few bucks at the least to sign up for hosting. The least that we could do is use a free theme to kind of mitigate the cost a bit, so you can get a live website up there for yourself that looks good and that you feel confident sharing with others. So I'm going to use one of the higher rated or higher quality free themes to do this. If you want to go with paid themes, I would recommend Divi from Elegant Themes, and I'll probably have a tutorial up on that by the time you watch this video or shortly after that if you're interested in using that and the capabilities that come within Divi. For now, we're going to use this free theme here. And first, we're going to actually have to find that theme. So you can actually do this a couple ways. I'll give you the link in the description below. But if we want to, we could just go to where it says Screener Theme. And then we'll go to where it says famethemes.com Screener Theme. And now you want to click Download Free here. I've actually already downloaded it to my desktop. And here it is. It's going to be a zip file like this. And we're going to actually need to upload that file back onto our dashboard area. So this is actually an easy process. I just want to say you do not want to unzip that theme. You want to leave it zipped. So we'll go to Add New here. And then we'll click Upload Theme. And we'll choose File. And that is where we'll go and search for it and we'll upload the theme and install it now. It's a pretty easy process. It may take a moment to install the theme. It depends on the size. And now we have to just click Activate it. So this next part here is actually really important. We'll have to read these messages here. And basically, this is the one I'm going to focus on. The save time by import our demo data. So we're going to click Import Demo Data here. And it says you have to install and activate the Fame Themes Demo Importer plugin first. So we're going to click on that. And I'm going to click Install Now. It says it's installed. And we'll simply click Activate Now, Active Now. And then it's going to have recommended plugins. I'm going to install this one and activate it. This Contact Form 7 is a great contact plugin here. Now I'm actually going to delete this Hello Dolly theme. We don't need that. It's a fake plugin or a representation of a plugin. And then I'm going to delete this as well. And now we're left with this Contact Form 7 and this Fame Theme Demo Importer. Now after we've done that, we have one big step to do, but I first want to show you what it looks like right now, our site. So if we go and actually open up our website, it's going to look like this right now. Now to see what it will look like here in a second, let's go into where it says Appearance and Screener Theme here. And then it will say there's 2 actions required. And then this one will say one-click demo import. I'm going to go on to that. and I'm going to say import demo data. It's going to ask, am I sure? I'll say okay. And this may take a moment to import depending on your computer and basically how fast it works. But we're going to see a drastic change in how the site actually looks when we go and refresh it after doing this. And it will give us a great slate to work with. And it says it has finished. And now if we just go up here, let's just refresh this to see what it looks like. And now we have this beautiful theme as our theme with all this demo content. So if we scroll down, you'll see that it starts to fade away. We'll see that this images come into play, the About Us section here, Parallax and Video Lightbox, Gallery, Our Services, some blog posts it looks like, and then where we've been featured, some facts. Here's some more blog posts, looks like latest news. And here we go with a keep in touch, contact us form right here as well. And then we have this footer area at the bottom. So this is a great theme and it's a great way to get started. Now we're going to start building out on this theme. So let's just go, we can actually X out of this website now that we got the theme from, and we can start actually going through the process of building out this site. So the first thing that we're going to do here is we're actually going to look at our menu, and we're in Appearance now. Let's just go to Appearance Menus here on the left. And I'm just going to break down how the menu works here for a one-page website. It's actually a little bit different than a website we would normally use in WordPress, with each having its own individual page. Instead of that, we have these things called custom links here. And if I just open up, let's go down and open up where it says News, for example. And here it will say this hashtag or #, and then News, and then the navigation label is News. So if I went here and I clicked on where it says News, we'll go right down to latest news. And I actually made a change here. I was just testing something out. But if we go to News, we'll see that it makes it say News here. Now, if we were to go up to Show Reel, it'll go up here and scroll us right up to this, where this light box is. Now, and that will be under this, where it says the custom link of video, and that says Show Reel. So it can have a different navigation label here than what it says as the anchor tag. This is an anchor tag here for that to make it scroll directly to that part of the page. These are very common to be used in one-page websites, and they will not usually be seen on other websites. Maybe just once on a website to scroll you down initially from the top of the menu. So you might see that up here on some other websites. If we scroll up here to the top, you might see this arrow that'll scroll you down on some websites, but they usually won't have an anchor for every single page like this does, unless it's a one-page website, then it's more common. So you can see it just scrolls you through each one nicely. And to go back up to the top, you actually don't go all the way with features. You would actually have to hit the logo over here to go all the way up and basically refresh at the top of the home page here. So I wanted to point that out to you and give you this basic understanding of how that works. Now, I actually encountered a bug here when I tried to delete the clients one when I was just messing around earlier. And I think it may be because it's with the free version. I'm not entirely sure. But because of that, I'm just going to push on. I might actually leave this client section as is and just create the rest of the website around it and make edits as we go. In reality, we already have a very nice looking website. So we're going to just build upon this and make changes to fit our customizations that we need for our own personal website. So if you have a specific brand you're targeting, or you're building a site out for a client with this, you want to cater it to what they need for their website. But this tutorial can be a base for you as you build it and kind of go through the steps with me to learn the basics of where things will go and what they need to be, stuff like that. So let's just dive back in here to the back end. And now that we reviewed the menu a bit, I'm going to get started here at the top of the website with this homepage image here. So now, before we dive into changing that image, I just wanted to show you that there's actually a lot of documentation on how to change things for this theme here. And you can find that at docs.famethemes.com. And I'll link to that in the description for you guys. it is going to be very helpful if you get lost and this tutorial doesn't cover a certain thing. Maybe you can find it within this area for this documentation. Most websites do have documentation on their WordPress themes, but this one goes into a little bit more depth than a normal one would. So it is very helpful and I totally would recommend it. Now, the next thing I'm going to get into is before we actually go and get our image changed here, we're going to actually have to find images that are worth putting as the background. Maybe you already have an ideal image selected, but I wanted to tell you about unsplash.com, and this website is a site that you could use to find high quality images. So that's unsplash.com, and if you get here I would recommend going with this kind of grid system here. And I'm going to actually go and just scroll through some random runs here, and you'll see that there's all different images, a lot of different scenery type images and some action. If you type in just about anything, it will come up. So if you wanted to type in, let's say, landscape, and we'll see what kind of images come up here, you'll see there's a lot of beautiful images, and these are all free to use even for business purposes. So if you wanted to find one and download one, let's just say you found one that you liked and it's this one here. You'll click on it. It will enlarge the image. You can see it and verify that you like it. And what you can do is you can click download on it to download the image. And it's really that simple. And I'm actually going to grab a couple images from here, just random ones, and I'll throw them on a website. I actually have a couple other ones already as well selected. And I'll just download some ones that look pretty nice. And we can experiment with them and see which ones look good for the background. Now I am going to actually use a darker background here, so I might want something for nighttime. Let's just put night sky here. And if you see the current image, it has white text on this darker background. I think that looks really good. It stands out very well. And if you're using a light background image here, you're going to want darker text for the text color. But I'm just going to make it nice and easy since we already have this popping white text here. I'm going to use a dark image as the image for the background. And there's plenty of those that we can find if we look around. So here's an example of some that come up for night sky. And it's pretty easy to find something here that you like or stands out. So once you find one, you'll just want to click on it and download that one as well. So let's just say I liked this one, how it looks. I'll click on it, and once it loads fully, then I can download it here. And now if we go back to the website here, we're actually going to upload them by going into where it says media and then add new. And you can actually drag and drop these files right in here. So I'm just going to go into my downloads folder here, and I'll grab these 3 images and I'll just drop them right in here like that, and they'll load just like that. In real time here, we'll see 100% for all 3 of them, and that's how we'll know that they are loaded. These may take a little bit longer since they are 4K images, these large images. And now after that's done, we can go to where it says Appearance, and then we'll go to Customize. And when we get into this Customize section, we'll see that there's our image here. And the next thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to want to go to where it says Front Page Sections, and then we'll click on where it says Hero. And now if we scroll down, we'll see that there's this Hero item, and we'll just click on that tab. And now it will open up. I actually had to click here. I couldn't open it when I clicked right on this. I thought that would open it. But if you click right here, it will open it up. And now you'll see this image. If we want to, we can remove this image and now it will be gone. Now we can click add and add a different image that we have within our library. So if I go and I click select files, I'm actually going to upload an image off of my computer here. Not one of these. If you wanted to add one of the ones that we just added to the site, you can do that. I also got this image off Unsplash, and I just thought it looked a little bit better for what I'm going for with the website. But you can use whatever web image you want to use on your own website. It's totally up to you. Now, after that image loads, you can change the title if you want. You can make it say my blog, night sky, whatever you want to change it to here. And this alt text here, this alternative text, can be used for helping us with SEO purposes. So let's just put this in. It basically will identify what the image is about. So we're going to put that in and select. and now we're going to see a new image here appear. And now this is the new image that I just put in from Unsplash. It's a completely free image that I got on there, and I thought it looked pretty cool, and the arrow is actually right below the person, which I thought was a pretty nice fit for what I was going for. And the night sky with the dark background makes it easy to see the blog here. Now you may notice that the menu kind of disappeared, and that's because when we're in this view with the customization view here, it kind of scrunches it in or squishes it in a little bit and makes the menu smaller as if it were like on an iPad. And this is a responsive website, so if you click on it, there's the menu. So the menu is still there, but that's why that happens. It's responsive. It can be viewed on an iPad, any other tablet. It can be viewed on a smartphone, anything like that. So it's completely responsive. Now if you wanted to change this text here that's on the image, you could totally do that by going right here. This is H1, means it's a header 1, which is large text. Header 1 is the largest text you can do normally on a website without changing the fonts completely. So if you want to do an H1 text, there you go, that's how it is. And strong basically means bold. It's another word for bold, but it's a little bit better to use strong than bold in these cases. So if we wanted to change that, we can go in here. It's a little tricky because it's a smaller window. So if we highlight this, we can actually delete it, and we'll see that it goes away once it refreshes there, and now it's no longer there. If you didn't want this text below it, you could delete this text below it, but I'm actually going to keep both of them there, and I'm going to just write, let's make a beautiful website. And if you wanted to, you can maybe make it shorter. It looks pretty big on this. Maybe I'd make it shorter. And maybe I'll just take out beautiful from this phrase and see how that makes it look. It's going to look a little bit better probably. And now if we scroll down, this is where the subtext is underneath there, and we could change that pretty easily. It's a little tricky in here to get the right text. So I'm going to just scroll down, and I'm just going to delete like this. And I'm going to write with a free WordPress theme, because that's exactly what this is. And I really am glad that themes that are this nice are created for the general public to use and try out. And I'm really happy to be using a free theme here. So once I'm done with that, I actually can change the background overlay color, and I'm going to just show you what that does just for example purposes. I'm actually not going to use it. But let's just say I wanted the overlay color to be blue. It'll change everything to be blue. So if you wanted this site to look very blue, you can do that. I'm not going to do that because I want the image to be there, and I'm going to change that back to where it says default here. And then I'm going to leave that be. So if you want to also, you can realign the content to a different area. Let's say you want it to go to the left. You can do that, make your text on the left. I want it to be centered. I think it looks great when it's centered like this. Gives you a pop right there. You get the message right when you come to the website. So that's how I prefer it to be. Now I'm going to save it and publish it here at the top. And I'm just going to click this back button to go back. And then we can start going into other sections here within the front page sections, which is everything we have. If you remember, if we scroll down, here is where it would be the features. And then here is about us. Here's the video lightbox. And the gallery is right below that. And there we have services, and here we have the clients. Here's the counters that we see on the left side as well, and here's latest news or the blog, and then down here is the contact us form. So it is an exact order that we're going to have to go through to get into that, and now we've just set this up. First, I'm actually going to go over how to edit this logo if we want to edit that, and then we'll start going and diving down into other parts of the website. So before I go into how to edit this logo right here, I'm actually going to just X out of this page here for our photos. And now I'm going to refresh this home page here, just to show you what it looks like with the image now on it. So there we go, there's our image, the new image that we just put into place. And you can see it there, and it looks pretty nice with this white text on it. So I would recommend, if you're going to add text, it'd be a white text for the logo, or something that's going to pop on this darker image. Now if you have a completely different image than what I'm using here, that's totally fine. Just make sure the text color looks good on the background color. So if I go back here, there's actually a couple ways we can do this, but let's go back here in this button, and then we'll go to Site Identity. And right here it says you can add a logo, and just select a logo, and right here it says Site Title, and it currently says My Blog. So I'm just going to make it say something else, and I'm just going to put WP with Tom. And if you want to have a tagline which will go directly underneath this, you can. It says the tagline is hidden right now, so if we uncheck that, we'll see that it says My WordPress Blog. And if you want to edit that, you can edit that here and just write whatever you want. Make websites with me. So after you've made this changes and have it look how you want, I'm actually going to hide the tagline, but I wanted to show you what it would look like. And when you're happy with how it looks here, you can leave it as is, or you can follow me on this next step with making a logo. And I'm going to quickly go over how to make a logo, which will go here, and a Fav icon, which goes right up here. You can do it at the same place, and that is logomaker.com. That's LOGOMAKR. There's no E in that. And then when you get to the site, you might have a few prompts to go through. And now, if you go back here and look at the customization section here, it says it needs to be a square and it needs to be at least 512 pixels wide and tall. So if you want to do 550 by 550, that's cool, 600 by 600, whatever you want to do. But we'll go back here, and I'm actually going to look for a logo, and I can just choose one of these ones if I like it, or I can go and type something in here, like maybe if I wanted to type in cameras, one I usually do for like photography type websites, and then I can find a camera that I like and add that as the Fav icon up here. And you can actually make it part of your logo as well. So let's say I found a camera that I like, and now I can see the size over here, and it says 1280 by 650. So if I wanted to resize that, I can do that and make it, let's say, 550, and then here I'll also put 550. And that's the space that we're working with right here. So this would be for the Fav icon, not the logo, just so you know that. So if I want to, I can drag the corners to the edges here, click again and drag it. And you would want to make this as big as you can here, because it's going to be in this little area for this Fav icon here. And then once you're happy with it, you can click, change the color in this area, make it stand out a little bit. I actually like to go with something like blue that's going to stand out a little bit, maybe a little darker blue. And then you can click out of it once you're happy with whatever you have. There's so many different options here to choose from. I'm just doing this one to quickly show you how to change that. And I'm going to save the logo. And it does say you should give credit to them. It says it's necessary to give credit to the graphic authors. You can do that. It says learn more about it. So for now, for this example, I'm just going to just add this to the site. So if I go back here, I can go down and click select image on this Fav icon area. I'll go to upload files, I'll select the file, and now I'll go to my downloads here and I'll add the logo. And this is the Fav icon, not really a logo, but I'm going to name it Fav icon so I don't mess that up. And I'll name the alt text Fav icon as well. And then I can crop the image if need be. And if we go back here and we refresh, we're going to look for this page here to change to a different image. Well, I actually see it over here on this one. It's kind of hard to see because of the dark background since I'm in the incognito window. If I was in a regular window, I think you would see it much better, but you get the idea. This is what it will look like in a regular window with this camera icon here next to where it says My Blog at the top. So that gives you a good idea of what it will look like. Now if I go up to the logo, we can also make a logo there. So let's just X out of this first. And now I'm going to go and I'm going to just go by text here. And now if I see this text is here, this is just a blank slate again for us here. And I'm going to start by resizing this. You'll probably want something around 400 by 100 or something like that. I'm actually going to go 380 and I'll do by 80 in my case here. And the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to click on it and I'm going to write different text. So I'm just going to write WP with Tom. In my case, you can write whatever you'd like, and then I'm going to drag it to resize it and make it a little smaller to fit. And then the important one is, since I have a dark background, I'm going to make it lighter text. But the good thing is we can still see it's still visible here. And then I'll just bring this up here toward the center. And I'll click out of it when I'm happy with that. And now I'm going to search for an icon. I already wrote up here, computer. I'm just going to enter that. And I'll just select this first one just for easy use here. And I'll grab it. It's a little tricky here. You've got to make sure you're actually grabbing the right one. So I'll slide it over and grab it. And now I'll grab this and drag it back in here. If you want to, you can mess around with the sizing for these. But basically, I just want to have some kind of image next to it. And here again, I'm going to make this computer lighter as well. So I'll click on it, and then I'll make it lighter here in the color wheel. And I'll click out of it. And if I'm happy with it, we can just download it like this. And we're going to upload that into our site identity. And then we'll go into logo here and select logo. And I'm going to click upload files, select files, and I'm going to upload the new logo that I made. And if I want to, I can just write logo. And again, for the alt text, I'll write logo. And I'll hit select. And now it'll tell us that we can crop it. I'm actually just going to make sure it fits. And there we go. And I'll crop the image. And there we go. There's the logo at the top. Now this is just a quick, easy logo that I made right now. You can mess around with this and find a logo that works for you and try to manipulate it the way you would like it to look. But for now, you know how to make one on your own and create one, or you know how to make one just here with the site title. And I'm actually going to delete the logo here, but I wanted to show you how to do that. So I'm going to just click remove to get rid of it. And now I have WP with Tom there. I may add it, I don't know. I'm going to play around with that and see what I like more. But for now, you know how to do either way. To update the changes, we're going to hit save and publish. And then we can refresh it over here to see it in effect. I already actually refreshed it. And here we go with the new logo in place. So that's how you change the logo. And next we're going to start working on the features section. So I wanted to go over how to change these images and which sizes they would be, as well as this text here within the featured section. So I'm actually going to X out of Logo Maker in my case, but you may want to leave it open. So if we go back to the customization area, we'll have to just click back once, and we'll go to front page sections again, and we'll go to where it says features here. And now we can see the features section. I'm just going to scroll down here to the features area, and it's going to be a little squished in again because this would show what it would be like on an iPad in this view. The best view to look at it is here on the actual page when we do refreshes and updates. So if we wanted to see how big this image is here in this responsive design section, this is where you would change the name if you want. And you can also choose the background color and the icon here. So if you wanted to add a different icon, you could actually find out how big it is for the size that you need. And to do that, at least in Google Chrome this works. If you right click on it and then click inspect on that icon, it says right here 126 by 98. So if I click on this line that it comes on, 126 by 98 is the size of the icon image here. So you can make icons that fit in this 126 by 98 size on logomaker.com, and then you could upload it to the site for these areas if you want within this font icon area here. If you want to change the color, you can actually do that right here. So you may have noticed that it says content page and it says responsive design, and that's what this text is actually for. So I'll just show you how to actually change the text that go with each one of these sections in the features. And there is 3 sections here. You can change the layout if you want 4. There's actually a 4th one down here. It's kind of hard to see, but there's 4 sections. I'm going to leave it as 3, and I'm just going to go through how to change 1 or 2 just so you have the example of how to do it. I don't want to waste your time and just keep showing you all these things that are repetitive, but I do want to show you how to do it. So let's just go back here, and we'll be back here on, and we'll go to pages, the pages section here on the left, and we'll click add new. So if I want to add a new page, I can just simply write a title for the page, and the title will basically be what you see in this section on the features right here where it says responsive design. That will be the title. So if I wanted to, I could write preferred payment. Of course I can't spell preferred payment. And now here I could write like something like MasterCard is the preferred payment. And you can always change the icon, as I said before, but this is just an example. Is the preferred payment method of WP with Tom.com. And if I'm happy with it, I can just click publish here on the right, and that makes this page go into effect. Now we have 13 pages, before we had just 12. Now if we go back to where it says appearance and customize again, now we're going to have to go to where the front page settings are right here, front page sections, and we'll go to features. And now if we scroll down again, instead of responsive design, we're going to actually click on this, and we're going to change the content page. So let's just we'll just scroll down to show you what it has right now. So this is what we see for features right now. We see this page. Now let's just change this, and we're going to make this one the preferred payment page. And now it looks like that. It looks a little funny, but let's just save it and publish, and we'll refresh it here on the site, and now we'll see it says preferred payment. MasterCard is a preferred payment method of WPWithTom.com. So that's just an example of how you can change this text within the pages back here. You're going to click out of this, and you always want to make sure you save it, by the way, and add new in the pages section and save it to publish it here, and then you can add it in just like we did. So I'm just going to show you that one example for this section, and I'll spare your time here and not show two more right here, but I may change this text. And next we're going to get to go down to the about section. We're just going to change this text and make it a little bit better looking. Now to change this about text, we're actually going to have to go back here to where we're in pages right now, and we're going to have to go to where it says appearance and then customize. Now we're going to go to the front page sections again, and we'll go to about this time. And if we wanted to just scroll down to see what it would look like, we can see that this is what we have here now. Let's go back to about, because it looked like it was enabling, and there it is. About is in effect now. So it's kind of weird that it does this, but it works. And basically you would have to create a new page, just like we did up here. You would have to create a new page in the pages section in the dashboard, and then link to it here. So you can change the text for what this says. This over here is the text that's right in this section. So it says, we provide creative solutions that get attention and meaningful to clients around the world. So you could change the text here and edit that however you would want, but for this page you'd actually have to create a page. So if we wanted to, let's just go back here and just show you that process again. So you're going to save it up here at the top, and we're going to exit right here, go back to the dashboard, and then we'll create a page, and I'm just going to put dummy text, and I'm just going to write something random here. This is more to show you, and I'll just publish it. And now if I go to appearance and then I go to customize again, we're going to go back in to the front page sections, and we'll go to about again. And now if we wanted to change the page, we can go in here and we go to dummy text. If we scroll down, we're going to see the new text go into effect here. It takes a moment to go into effect. Again, now it just says this is some dummy text. So that's how you can change the text for this side of the page. This side of the page, again, you can change right here in the section description. So that's how you would change this about page and add different elements to it. I do believe that it would probably work a little bit better on the paid version of this theme, so you may want to think about upgrading if this isn't good enough for you. But for a free theme, this works really well in my opinion, and I'm just going to save it. And now we're going to move on down here to the video lightbox here, and we're going to get into how to add a video. Alright, so to add a video here, it's actually pretty easy. What we're first going to do is go up here to the top and hit the back button, and then we'll go into where it says video lightbox. And in this section, we can add a video URL right here. And as you can see, it shows an example of a YouTube URL here, so we can add any video off YouTube. We actually don't have to use the embed link or anything like that. We can just add it right from there. Now, if we wanted to, we can add an image here for a parallax image. That's this image you see here. It's actually not an image from the video itself. So let's just select that. And I'm going to add one that I added previously. Then I'll add this one with the night sky here, and I'll just choose the image to put that into effect. Now you can see that this is the background image. If you want something else, you can totally add something else. I just did that because I have it on here already. Now as far as the URL goes, this should be pretty easy for you guys to figure out, but I'll just show you. And I'll just go to this YouTube channel called WP with Tom, my own channel here. And I'll just choose a random video from the channel. Hey everyone, so let's say I like this one here. I will just go click on it, pause right here, and then I'll copy it in, and I'll just paste it right in here. And then it's in there. Pretty simple. If you want to, you can change the background overlay color. That makes it a little darker, so if I want it to be a little lighter, I could mess with that. And you can do that here if you want to. Let's just wait for that to go into effect. You'll see that it's lighter now. If you want it like that, you can go a little darker, and if you want to revert back to the default, you can always do that as well. And I'm just going to click it back to default here so it goes back to how it was actually. And now if I'm happy with that and happy with the URL that I put in there, I can actually go up here and change this text as well. So let's just say create beautiful websites. And now that text goes into effect. Actually, I'm going to capitalize each letter just because that's how I like it. Now, if you're happy with how it looks, you can save it. Make sure you save it and publish. And now we can actually go here and we're going to refresh the home page here. And we'll see what it looks like with the video now in effect in this show reel area. And here it is, the new background in place. And if we click the video, it pops up with my other video on here. So that's a way that you can add a video really quickly. If you have videos on YouTube, that would be great. Now let's say you wanted to add a specific video. You could add something like videvo.com. I think I spelled that wrong. Videvo.com right here. And it actually goes to .net, so videvo.net. And here you can actually type in different things that you'd want. So let's just say I want something that says night. And then it will give you different videos that you could add. I know I like this one right here. I've used this before, this Milky Way video. And what you would do in this case is, since you have free rights to use this, you can use this video right here and you could upload it onto YouTube. Now that is quite a few steps to do, but you would actually go and agree to the terms of service and download a clip, then upload it onto YouTube. And I would most likely give credit to this author just so you kind of avoid any issues with YouTube. And then after you do that, you can upload it as, or put the link here for it as the link for this video itself. So it would go with this. That's just an example of a site that you can use, but for now I'm going to keep pushing on and move into the next section. Alright, so now we're going to get into the services area, and you'll see it says gallery there for me. It might not actually say that for you, it kind of depends. I've noticed that sometimes it shows up and sometimes it doesn't, but we can actually go back here and we'll click on where it says gallery if yours is showing up, and we're just going to make sure it says hide this section. And I'll just save and publish that just to make sure the changes go into effect, and we'll refresh this page, and now we'll see that the gallery is in fact gone, and it just goes from the video right down to the our services section here. So the services, we'll go back here and we'll click back again and click on services. We're just going to keep running right down through these, and now here in the services section we're going to have a few options. I'm actually going to get rid of this subtitle, which is right here at the top, and I'm going to just click delete. Now we're just left with this big text that says services. Now to get into the parts of these 4 parts right here, the 2 with the icons here and then the 2 with the images, we can actually edit the text and edit the images if we would like. And to do that, let's go into the first one, is responsive web design. And you'll see that it says it has an image style, a font icon. So that's a font icon right there. If we wanted to, we can remove it, or we can put a featured top image, and that's actually what these are right here. Or we can go with no thumbnail. I'll just show you what that looks like. If we have none, it will look just like that. If we have one, there it is. So you can mess around with that and change those if you would like. Now down here for these ones with these other images, let's just click on social media marketing. These you can see has the featured image at the top. And if you wanted to, you could change the images and make it a different image altogether. So it would get the content from the social media marketing page in this case. So let's just save this and I'll show you what that would look like. If we click X after it's saved, we can go back to pages here, and let's go to where it says social media marketing. It should be in alphabetical order, so it's the bottom one here. And if we click on that, we should see this right over here. It's called a featured image, and on this featured image is what shows up right here in the social media marketing section. So that's how you would add. If you wanted to remove it, you click remove, and if you wanted to add it, it would say add, and then you would click it there, and you would simply go up and update it to make the changes. And that goes for this text as well. You can change that as well. And we're going to get into that more here in a minute with the blog post, but I wanted to show you how to do that. Now, if you're happy with how it looks, you can actually just refresh this page. We only made one minor change, I guess, with our services showing up here. And that's how to do that and put that into effect. We're going to get into a little bit more detail when we get down to the news section, and then you're going to learn more about how to make some extra changes within that text area back here. So we'll get into the next section now, which is clients. Now, as I said early on, I don't know if I'm actually going to use this client section here. I might just leave it as is and not edit it, but I'll at least show you what it would look like if we go back here to appearance, and then we'll go to customize. We can go to where it says front page sections, and then we can go to clients. And here I'm just going to scroll down so we can see it to clients here. We'll go right down to that page. So for the client section, if you wanted to, you can say something different than we had been featured on. You could say we have been featured on or something like that. And here you can change the clients that you say you've been featured on. So if you wanted to remove it, you could. If you wanted to add something else, you could do that. This is where you would put your link. This is just a placeholder for a link here. And down here you choose the number basically of items you want to show. I guess the minimum here is 4, the maximum is 6. So if you wanted to add another item, you could do that here. And that's basically it for the client section. I'm not going to get into that. I'm going to go right on down to the next section, the news section here. Actually, let's look up here at this real quick about the counter here. So if we just go back, let's just go back here and click on counter. Counter isn't actually a page that comes up here, but it is an element that we can edit. So we can do that right over here in this section. So if we wanted to edit some of the counter features, we could go up here. First of all, it says some fun facts about our agency. And you can change this text to be whatever you want. You would just simply change it there and it would go into effect here. You can change the numbers for the projects completed and the font icon as well. So let's just say 287, and we'll see that that now goes into effect. And when you first scroll down to this section, let's just go up to showreel, and now we're going to go down back to where I guess we'll go to clients, and watch it start counting up this counter. See it down there at the bottom? And that is the effect that you get with these counters, and you can change that, and you can also change the color for the counter as well. So you can do that for each of these, and you actually can add another one. I would maybe add a fourth one, and basically you can just click add item, And here we'll click on where it says item. You would want to give it a title. So I'm just going to name this one website tutorials, I'll just say. This is actually something I have on my own website. And here you would put a number if you would like. Let's just put 277. And if you wanted to add a font icon, they actually have a lot of them on here that you can choose from. You don't have to go and try to create an image on Logo Maker. You can actually choose them from the options here. So if you saw one that you liked, you could just simply add it. And I'll just click this one with the computer there. It makes a lot of sense for this case. And if you wanted to edit the color, again, you could do that down here with a custom background color in this section. So after you're happy with that, you can go save it up here at the top. And I'm going to go back here. And next I'm going to get into the latest news section. So if we go up here and we click on news, we'll scroll down to this news area. And if you wanted to, you can change this section. Maybe you'd want it to say blog here. And you could just delete this if you would like. It's totally up to you for what you want to do with that section. Now here it says the number of posts that are going to be showing. So we have 3 right now. So let's just scroll down. That's the 3rd one right here. And it says learn more news, and that's where you'd click to read more blog posts. Now to change our blog post, we're actually going to have to, let's just save and publish this, and we're going to go back here. We're going to X out of this completely. And to find our blog post, we'll go to where it says post. Now let me just refresh this, and I'll go to news right here, and here we have our blog. So this shows the news that we currently have on here. One just says hello world, and it's a blank one. We're going to edit this one up a bit, and these ones are more complete posts. So if we go here and we see hello world, we can add a new one if we want an entirely new post. Let's just go and edit hello world here. And if you saw, it basically had nothing on it. It just says read on and uncategorized for the post. So here's where you'd want to write some text. So this is where our text that we want to show up on the website would go. Isn't this cool? And now here where it says uncategorized on the right is what it says up here for the category. These ones say apps, business. So there's other categories that you can add it to. And let's just put one page here, and I'm going to uncheck that one there. You can actually add a new category, and you might want to do that for SEO purposes, for search engine optimization, so it looks a little bit better within a search. Here, if you want to tag it, you could make it say something like website. You want it to be something related to the post, and if you wanted to select the featured image for it, you could do that as well. I'm just going to add this one. Now, to start changing this text here, you can actually make text a different size. So if you wanted to, you could make this a heading 1. So if we want to, we can have it all large like this. We can italicize it. You can actually click on this over here, this toolbar toggle, and it opens up a lot more options like text color. If you wanted to change the text color, you could do that. If you wanted to put a strike through on something. So if you thought it wasn't cool, you might want to go like this and then do a strike through it. So isn't this cool? Not really. And here you could add a horizontal row, which is like a break. I don't know if you see that line, but now the line is above this text. And it kind of breaks up the text. To insert a link, you would click this. So let's just do youtube.com. And if we click on this link options, we can choose if we want to open the link in a new tab, the URL, and then the link text, you could just write like YouTube. But here you would write like youtube.com, and then you would add the link like that. So there's a lot of different things. You can see that there's a link there. It's kind of hard to see without it. And if you were happy with how it looked, you would just click update. And now if we go and refresh this page, we're going to see that all these changes that I made there just kind of crazy went into effect. If we click read on, we're going to see that it says hello world and has this big image with our text that's kind of crazy in here. Now there's a lot more that you can do within this section here of the post area, and you can align text. You can do all kinds of things. And I actually have another video on that, a free full-length video where I make a blog website, and I go through this in a little bit more in depth than I will here for this post. But I just want to show you how to make blog posts and basically where it will show up and how to make some pretty basic changes for your blog. Next, we're going to get into the bottom here. We're going to go down to where it says contact, and we're going to go over how to edit these pieces of the website here. Alright, so within this contact section, we have this keep in touch text, which is like subtext here. We have the large H1 here, contact us text, and then this brief little message below, as well as the Twitter, Facebook icons, and a phone number. So to edit that, let's just go into, if we're not in there already, appearance, then customize. And again, we're going to go into the front page sections here, and we'll go to where it says contact on the left side. So let's just scroll down here to the contact section. And there we are. So we'll be able to see the changes as we make them. If we want to, we can change this contact us here. I'm going to get rid of where it says keep in touch on my case. So we'll go make the contact us go up a little bit. And here, if you want to change this text that goes right here, you can do that. I'm actually just going to leave it the same. And we'll get into the next bar right down here at the bottom. If we click on this, it will have the Twitter icon right there. I like how that is, so I'm going to leave it as is, but I'm just going to actually put my own on here. If you guys want, you can follow me on Twitter. And if you have a URL, here's where you'd want to put that in. So you'd actually want to put in your real URL here. So if I just went on Twitter real quick, and I'm just going to log in. Now to get my profile, I'm actually going to then go and just click on this here, and there it gives my profile URL, and that's what it will be. It'll be twitter.com/ and then your username here. So after you do that, you can actually just paste that in. And when it has this hashtag or a number sign right there, it's basically a placeholder for a link. That's the standard placeholder for a link when designing websites. So next, after you're happy with that, you can actually open that up and close this one down. And then you can do the same for your Facebook page URL if you have one and put that in here. I'll leave it as is, but it's going to be the same kind of concept. And a phone number, if you want to put one in here, you can do that as well. You always can change these images by clicking on this icon to add something else. If you don't want a phone number and say you want something else, you could do that here. Maybe you put like an S for Skype, or maybe message bubbles for something, another way that they can get in touch with you. Just an example, but you can definitely sort through here and see if there's something more applicable to what kind of website you're making. Here's Vimeo, so you could use that as well. And that could be something helpful for you. Amazon here, if you have an Amazon store or something like that, you can do that as well. So I'm going to save this and publish. And now if we get into actually changing where this form goes to, I really like how this form is laid out, and it looks a lot nicer than the basic contact form 7, which is what this is, the plugin is here for this. And it looks better than the basic one that it comes with. So I'm going to leave this as is, but I'm going to change the message so it actually goes to us. So let's click this X here to go back to the dashboard. And now we'll go into where it says contact here and click on contact forms. And here it says contact form front page. We're going to want to click on this or click edit on this. And now in this section, it gives our contact form. If we go and click where it says mail right here, it says where the contact form will go to. So let's just say I had one go like this, tom@wpwithtom.com. And if I wanted that email to be sent there, when people fill out this email form, it will be sent to my email address, and it will keep the same form intact that's already there. So that's a good way to do it, and you can just save it right up here, and now you have it in effect. So when someone fills out this form and then they submit it right down here with the send button, you should get it to your own email that you put in that mail section of the form right here. So that's about it for this section. Next, we're going to get into editing these footer credits down here at the bottom. And there's a lot of different options in here, and we'll start exploring that next. So the first thing that we're going to do here is I'm just going to X out of the Twitter since we no longer need that. If you have Facebook open, definitely close that as well. And here we have 4 different columns. And the best way we can actually see this is if we go into where it says Appearance and then Widgets. We'll have footer 1, footer 2, footer 3, and footer 4. And this would be footer 1, footer 2, footer 3, and footer 4 over here. So if there's a certain section that you like here, maybe you want to keep it that way. In my case, I'm actually going to get rid of where it says About Screener, and I'm going to keep these other 3. So to do that, I'm actually going to just go and click on this footer 1 and see it says About Screener. Now if I were to click on footer 2, it would say Recent Post, which you'll see right here. Number 3 would be Company Office, and then number 4 is Business Hours. So you can see how they match up like that. Now to delete this About Screener like I want to do, I'm just going to go in here and I'll just click on this drop down here and it brings up the About Screener text. And if you wanted to add different text here, that's where you would do it. And I'm just going to click delete right there in the lower left. And now there's nothing in that footer section, but it is still there because the way the default is set up is there's 4 different sections by default. So now we're left with the Recent Post, the Company Office, and the Business Hours. In this section, you actually don't have to save anything with a Save button. The widgets go into effect right away. So what we can actually do is we can drag in another element. Say you wanted to add in a calendar, you can do that. You can just click on it, hold it, and drag it. And you can put it into footer 1 if you want to right here. Or you can actually drag these around. So let's say you wanted them all to shift, and I wanted to put calendar in the 4th one over here, and I wanted to put the Business Hours in this one. I wanted to put the Company Office down in number 2, and then I wanted to move the Recent Post up to the 1st one here. We could totally do that and put these changes into effect. Now to do that, we'd actually don't have to save it, as I said. And now if we go back to the home page, let's just refresh this page real quick. And we'll scroll down to the bottom and see what the changes look like. And now we have these different changes into effect with the Recent Post on the left, Company Office, the Business Hours, and then the calendar over here on the right. Now to edit that, if you wanted to edit your Business Hours in your message, you can do that. Just so you know, P is for paragraph here, and this ends a paragraph. This is if you're not familiar with HTML. And then there's an unordered list and a list item in these. So it's something you could learn a little bit about. If you want to learn a little bit of basic HTML, you can learn what these things are. But you could also just take the text out that you want and replace it and just only mess with like Monday to Friday and then a 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. You could just edit the text that needs to be edited and not edit any of this. Something I would maybe do is actually, if you're going to edit it and mess around with it and you're worried you're going to mess up the HTML, you can just go down here like that and copy it so you have it already saved as basically a second copy while you're editing this one. If you mess up, you can fix it here. If you're not familiar with HTML, that's a good way that you could do that and basically avoid having any issues. And that goes for any of these. You can actually edit the text in here as well, since it is text, and these are divs and they're dividers basically. So I just wanted to point that out. That's how you would edit the text there. And then you could also go into where it says Appearance and then Customize. And let's say you decide that you only want 3 of them. You don't really want this calendar anymore, and you want a little bit more color going on down here. You can actually go in to here in the Customize section, scroll down, go to Theme Options, and then click Footer. And if we scroll down again, we're going to see what we have down here. It looks a little squished in because it's on a smaller view here. But let's say we want to have 3 of them. It will get rid of the calendar when we do this and basically kick that 4th one off and just keep the first 3 of the footer elements. So if you want one of them to be kicked off, you want to make it the 4th element if you're unsure about that. So that way it can be booted off if need be. and now we'd be left with these elements right here. Now if you want to change some other parts of this, you can actually go down. Let's say you wanted to, the hover color, if we hover over it, it's orange. This goes with the rest of the website, so I kind of like that. But if you want to change that, you can. Let's go with the link color. Links are typically blue, so if you wanted to do that, you could click there and then just click out. And now if you go over these links, you'll see it's blue. Now you can also just choose the link color in general and make them blue like that, so all the links just show up as blue, and then you can actually delete this. So it's totally up to you for what you want to do in this scenario, but this would make the links clearly stand out. If you wanted to make it more of an orange color to go with the rest of the theme, you could also do that as well. So it's really up to what you're looking for here, and when you're happy with how it looks, you can just simply save it. I'm just going to click off that. I'll leave it as is there. Now here is something important. Here in the bottom, it's the credentials, basically the footer copyright and the credentials. Now they say you have to upgrade to the full version of this. I kind of don't want to get into how to edit that on here in this tutorial because it is supposed to be more for beginners and be very basic. But I will show you that if you wanted to change the color here, you can probably make it so you can't even really see it anyway. You can honestly just go put this as black down here and put the other color as black as well, and you're probably not even going to really be able to see it. So that is something you could do if you really want to hide this text from them. And now you can't even see any links if you did that. And basically there would be a link over here somewhere when it turns into a hand for the mouse. That's where the link would be, and that's a way that you can hide it. You just basically make it the same color on the bottom to hide that link, and that's a good way to go about it if you don't really want to get into the code as well. I think it's the best way for a beginner to go about editing that very quickly and easily. And when you're happy with how it looks, you'll just save it and publish it, and then we're basically done here with the website. And let's just go and refresh the final site here. And we'll go up to the top. We'll click the logo to go back up to the top here. And this is what our final site looks like. We can scroll right down through this and see a lot of the customizations that we made to the site. As I've said before, it's an amazing site to have for free and to be able to basically edit and make your own with a great template to work with, a great theme as the base to work with and to make changes on for yourself. It's a one-page website, mobile friendly, so it's really great for someone that's looking to get a website up quickly. And if you've stuck with me through this whole journey of making this site, I hope you were able to pick up some things and learn from it. And I really appreciate you taking the time to learn with me in this tutorial. I hope you benefited from it. And I would really appreciate it if you give me a thumbs up if you did like this video. And feel free to subscribe to this channel because I'm going to be creating a lot more content here going forward. Thanks again for watching, everyone. I really appreciate it. I hope that you were able to make a website that you can be proud of and share with your friends.